The next award is the Benchley Award for Science, given to an individual or individuals who have provided cutting-edge marine science, either through their efforts as leaders of a team that has advanced the cause of understanding ocean processes, marine ecology, and conservation biology. Jesse Ausubel, who was the Benchley Award winner in 2010, gets to give out this award and introduce the honorees.
As David mentioned, in 2004, Ransom Myers received the inaugural Benchley Award for Excellence in Ocean Science. 5 years earlier, in 1999, Myers had attracted Heike Lotze and Boris Worm from graduate school in Kiel, Germany, to postdoctoral positions at Dalhousie University in Nova Scotia. And as I like to say, Scripps Institution of Oceanography is the Dalhousie of the Pacific. Soon began one of the most original and fruitful collaborations in the history of marine biology. Over the past dozen years, Heike and Boris transformed the study of marine biodiversity over large areas and long durations. Together with other colleagues, they published an astonishing run of papers, many in Science and Nature. The papers have earned classic status. Meanwhile, both were teaching and mentoring students, several of whom have already won distinguished positions. At least as important, their work has helped marine life, for example, through the March 2013 inclusion of 5 species of sharks in the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. For their work increasing our knowledge about the changing abundance and diversity of the planet's marine wildlife, please join me in recognizing Heike Lotze and Boris Worm.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, everyone. No man or woman is an island, the English poet John Donne said famously. And this is true for everyone, and it's true for every field of work, but it's particularly true for ocean scientists. And it's even more true for the two of us, that we couldn't have done much of what we have been able to do without the help of each other and the help of many others who came along the way. And we have received recognition individually, but I think this is the first time that our joint work and the inspiration we provided to each other has been recognized. And so it's a very moving moment and very special honor for us.
And so it really started us to think about the last almost 2 decades now of joint adventures inside and on top of the oceans. And it actually started very romantically in a statistics course. But it helped us to, I think, really try to frame questions that we pose to nature in a way that we could get quantifiable answers. And it also, I think, always encouraged us to really dig deeper. And I think throughout our careers, the trying to find the causes and analyze the consequences of changes in the oceans has been a theme throughout.
So yes, it started at the statistics course. We were working on algae and seaweed at that time, both of us, and little snails and amphipods that interact with those. And you could smile at that, but it's a system that Steve Palumbi once said, Rocky Shore scientists, they think they can solve any question just given the right amount of putty and mesh. And anyone who's worked in this field knows what I mean. We actually spend many days of our lives scrubbing cages, trying to rid them from the algae we were trying to study. and let the light filter in and do its work in rearranging the communities we were manipulating experimentally. And for me, it was always this sense of discovery and wonder in that you could actually ask questions to nature and get answers back. And so I guess the questions just kept growing as we were moving from Germany to Canada.
And I guess for me it was, so Boris always came more from the theoretical side, asking questions, and I always came from the more applied side. I was always interested in, like, what are people doing? Like, what are we doing to the ocean? And so we started comparing things that happened in Germany then to what happened in Canada. To us at that time, Canada was the paradise, but then coming there and working there, actually discovering, well, humans do their actions there too. And it was this kind of pivotal moment on the Bay of Fundy, highest tides of the world. We're still working on these tiny seaweeds and snails and nutrient pollution, in my case. And walking around and really seeing that really human actions touch every level of the food web, every animal and plant in the ocean. And for me, it was this question, like, when did this really start? So as Jesse mentioned, I dived deep into time, not so much underwater, but studying the history of human impacts on the ocean, and when we really started to overfish things and destroy habitat and pollute and change the climate and all on top of each other.
Around that time, we met Ram Myers. Jesse said Ram recruited us to Dalhousie. That's kind of true. The real story is that we met at a social function. He was, if you ever met Ram, he was juggling a baby, one of his, and a plate of food and trying to talk at the same time. And I just thought, this guy's very special, and we liked each other right away. And after 5 minutes, he asked me, can you give a lecture for me? He never met me. And I said, okay, on what? He said, anything you like, your thesis, whatever. Anyway, so that led to a long history of collaboration and working with both myself and Heike. And then actually coming into the sense of marine life that Ram was a part of, heading the Future of Marine Animals Populations project. Where we then started to ask really big questions about how the world had changed and how it may change in the future. And from that...
That's what we are doing. But so over the whole time, of course, we were, as a couple even, we weren't just an island, and there were so many others who inspired and collaborated and helped us do our work, and we would like to thank all of you for your great contributions. Thank you very much.